Morning, Will. I don't have a whole lot planned. This is sort of the last informal video presentation, and I'll try and keep it under 15 minutes for you. Make sure you're checking the Trello boards because those are getting some use. Um, it's pretty much the basis for my staying organized. We can just keep projects moving in a line. Almost done with this guy here, already done with the reload Hootsuite. Gonna be done with this here, and then gonna start looking into the B2B, just moving right along. I mean, it is so much smoother than what we were doing before. So Trello is just A1. I'm loving it. And Slack. Oh yeah, Slack is doing us good. We still got, my communications will shorten up as things become less complicated, and we define more things. We've got so much stuff in the air and so many balls bouncing around. It is We want to get to one thing at a time, but we can't just say one thing at a time. You know what I mean? It's like when I arrived on scene, there was all kinds of IT problems all over the place. So we did have to bounce, and we're still coming out of that bounce. We're getting more and more focused as time goes on. So that's definitely the focus, is to get down to those projects and one thing at a time. So I just wanted to give a quick rundown of how I see Slack currently, and maybe just spitball some ideas that I got off the top of my head. So our private communication channel is great for just back and forth every day or in the mornings. It'll get back to not being every day. We don't need to, I don't need to be up your butt about anything or anything like that. We don't need to get all crazy about it. But right now, we're Communications Month. We're trying to integrate and get everything together. So that works well. The private communication there works well for just our back and forth, just our general back and forth between you and I. Moving on up to communications. Communications is about specific ideas. So, in an interest in keeping this video short, brief, yeah, our private communication channel is to general what communications is to the animal den. So, sort of. The animal den's a little, I'll get into that in a second, but communications here is more about talking about the straight skinny. Ideas that we have, things that we want to share, and obviously I've got some stuff to read here that I haven't gotten into, and I'll take a look at that in a second. We've got general, which is obviously going to be, making announcements and general, communications between other people if we decide that we might use this, company wide. So like making announcements, obviously, and worded perfectly, the workspace wide communication. Can't think of a better way to word that. Random is a good place to exhaust, just keep all the extra chatter out of all the other channels. Tech troubleshooting, so anytime like problems come up or anything, this is a good place to put that, as opposed to doing one of those forms that I had. It's just better to get it in here, and then you can see it, I can see it, and anybody else that can get in there can see it, and not only can I help, but maybe someone else has seen that problem somewhere. And then the animal den is going to be for specific things like maybe Mel has a new document she needs filled out company wide for something specific. She would put that here. Or let's say that Troy and I get together and make our training videos and make the new training documentation, say, towards the end of Q1. Then we would post that training material here, and then anytime we got a new employee, we would just refer them to that post, because you basically just pin it in the chat room, and then you can look at all the pinned things. So that goes pretty well over everything. I don't think we need to create any more rooms. I think it's perfect where it's at. We've got our personal communication. We've got communications, which I need to get in there and read. And anytime I say anything, I hope it's not because obviously I'm still a kid and I'm just trying the best that I can to be conducive and work hard and bring good ideas to the table and what have you. So obviously, I don't have any clue, left from right, up from down. But hopefully I don't ever come off as offensive or brash or anything. And with time, especially with me just getting out of the hospital, with time, sometimes under this great stress, manners can be. So hopefully I don't ever overstep my bounds or anything like that. Okay, so that does good for this one. I think that's probably about 5 or 6 minutes, so that's good. I just wanted to, one of the bullet points that we had in Trello about communications was making sure that you had access to everything and everything kind of made sense. And so I just wanted to touch on the Slack things. We made that together, and it feels good. It feels airtight. I like that we have, our basic channels that we can separate our different pieces of our different types of conversation. I love that we have Trello and that we can refer to that anytime we want an update on our projects. Calendar, I don't know how deep that'll get, and then obviously analytics. Calendar might just be my calendar. It might not have like a daily thing. It might just have like, okay, video presentation's coming out this. I don't know. I'm getting ready to plan that. And I'm also planning the video presentation format. So that will be nice as well. And then you have make sure you have your Google Dashboard. That way if you ever just want to look at some numbers or something comes to mind, you can take a gander. You can see quite a bit of useful information just from that one screen there. So if you need any of that today, let me know. I'll be floating around the office all day long as usual. So if you have any questions about our communication stack or anything like that, just let me know, and I will get into what you've sent me here in communications, and I'll be open and conducive to that. Okay, all right, that's it for this one. Bye.